In the bustling world of motorcycle dealerships, where the roar of engines and the gleam of chrome allure enthusiasts and casual buyers alike, there exists a unique figure often hidden in plain sight: the owner. Meet Tom, a passionate motorcyclist and the proud owner of Apex Motorcycles, a dealership renowned for its extensive range of bikes and customer-centric service. But Tom is not just any owner. He is a man on a mission to dive deep into the heart of his business by experiencing it from the perspective of his customers. Tom has spent years building Apex Motorcycles from the ground up. His love for motorcycles began in his teenage years when he first rode a bike with friends. That initial rush transformed into a lifelong passion, eventually guiding him to open his own dealership. Over time, he became known not only for his vast knowledge of motorcycles but also for his dedication to fostering a welcoming atmosphere for all customers, whether seasoned riders or first-time buyers. Yet, as the years rolled on, Tom found himself increasingly disconnected from the very experience that had fueled his dreams. Despite his best intentions, Tom realized that being an owner often meant being ensconced in meetings, managing finances, and overseeing operations. He had lost touch with the everyday interactions that defined the motorcycle buying experience. So, after much contemplation, he devised a plan to become an undercover customer at his own dealership. This decision was not born out of mere curiosity. It was rooted in a genuine desire to understand how his business was perceived from the outside looking in. By stepping into the shoes of an average customer, Tom hoped to unearth insights that would help him refine his approach to customer service and improve overall satisfaction at Apex Motorcycles. On a sunny Saturday morning, armed with a baseball cap pulled low over his brow and a pair of sunglasses concealing his identity, Tom walked through the doors of his own dealership. The ambient sounds of engines revving and cheerful chatter filled the air as he stepped onto the showroom floor, a place he had designed with care but had not truly experienced as a customer in years. The gleaming bikes lined up like soldiers ready for battle beckoned him closer. As he strolled among the rows of motorcycles, Tom felt a wave of nostalgia wash over him. Each bike told its own story. Each model represented countless hours of engineering and passion. He paused to admire a sleek sport bike that reminded him of his youth, a time when speed and adventure were all that mattered. With every glance at the polished surfaces and vibrant colors, memories flooded back, exhilarating rides along winding roads and spontaneous trips with friends. But amidst this nostalgia lay an underlying tension. What would it be like to interact with the sales staff? Would they recognize him? Would they treat him differently if they did? These questions lingered in Tom's mind as he approached one particularly impressive touring bike parked prominently in the corner. Just then, two customers entered the dealership behind him. Tom instinctively turned slightly to listen without revealing himself. Their conversation quickly turned from excited whispers about various models to candid discussions about their experiences at Apex Motorcycles, something Tom hadn't expected but desperately needed to hear. As he feigned interest in the bike before him, he couldn't help but catch snippets of their dialogue. The customers shared their thoughts on service quality, pricing transparency, and how knowledgeable or uninformed the salespeople had been during their last visit. Each comment struck a chord within Tom. They echoed concerns he had heard before but never fully grasped from an outsider's perspective. With every word spoken between them, Tom felt both excitement and trepidation build within him. How would this undercover venture shape not only his understanding but also potentially transform Apex Motorcycles? What truths lay behind those casual remarks? This moment was pivotal, not just for understanding customer feedback, but also for reconnecting with why he fell in love with motorcycles in the first place. As he stood there, pretending to inspect the bike while absorbing these insights, Tom's heart raced, not from adrenaline or speed, but from anticipation. The undercover experience was unfolding exactly as he hoped it would, revealing challenges and opportunities for growth that could significantly enhance customer experiences at his dealership. In this seemingly simple moment of disguise lay layers of complexity about trust, perception, and connection, all crucial elements within any business relationship. Little did Tom know that this undercover operation would lead him down an unexpected path toward reconciling his dual roles as both an owner and an avid motorcyclist seeking genuine connections with fellow riders. With newfound determination brewing inside him, Tom prepared himself to embrace whatever revelations awaited just beyond that corner, and perhaps discover a clearer vision for Apex Motorcycles' future along the way. As Tom stood amidst the gleaming motorcycles at Apex Motorcycles, a palpable sense of urgency began to stir within him. He could no longer ignore the distance that had grown between himself and his customers. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, as he became increasingly ensnared in the administrative side of the business. Though he had initially opened the dealership with dreams of sharing his love for motorcycles, he now found himself buried beneath spreadsheets and reports, losing touch with the very essence of what made Apex special. The decision to go undercover was not an impulsive one. For months, Tom had contemplated how he could bridge that gap. He needed to experience firsthand what it was like to be a customer in his own dealership, what challenges they faced, and what joys they encountered. It was clear to him that only by stepping outside his role as an owner could he gain a true understanding of the customer experience. The idea resonated deeply with him. It was a chance to reconnect with his passion while also gaining valuable insights into how to improve his business. Tom spent several evenings sketching out a plan, carefully considering every detail. He envisioned himself as a casual buyer looking for a new bike, someone who would wander into the dealership without any preconceived notions about who owned it or how it operated. To make this work, he knew he would need to disguise himself, something simple yet effective enough to keep his identity hidden from both customers and staff. As he prepared for this undercover operation, Tom took stock of what he hoped to achieve. First and foremost, he wanted to assess the level of customer service being provided. Were his salespeople genuinely engaging with customers? Were they listening to their needs? Or were they merely pushing for a sale without considering what would truly benefit the buyer? Next, Tom aimed to identify any gaps in product knowledge among his staff. He recalled times when customers had expressed confusion over certain models or features, something that had made him uncomfortable as an owner. It was essential for potential buyers to feel informed and empowered in their decision-making process. He wanted to discover whether his staff could effectively communicate these aspects during interactions. Additionally, Tom sought to gauge the overall atmosphere within the dealership. Was it welcoming and inviting? Did customers feel comfortable asking questions or voicing concerns? The ambience of a dealership can significantly influence a customer's experience, and Tom wanted to ensure that Apex Motorcycles exuded warmth and friendliness, a reflection of his values. As Tom crafted his plan, he also considered how best to approach the buying process itself. He wanted to be authentic in his search for a motorcycle while remaining discreet about his intentions. To do this, he decided on a specific model he had always admired, a versatile touring bike that struck a balance between comfort and performance. It would serve as both a genuine interest for him and an opportunity to gauge how well the staff could assist him in making an informed choice. When the day finally arrived for Tom's undercover operation, anticipation thrummed through him like an engine revving up for a ride. He donned an outfit that was casual yet unremarkable. Jeans, a plain t-shirt, and sneakers paired with that baseball cap pulled low over his brow. This understated look would help him blend in seamlessly among other customers while allowing him to observe without drawing attention. As he walked through the familiar doors of Apex Motorcycles, excitement coursed through him. The dealership felt both foreign and familiar at once, a place where he had poured years of hard work, but now stood as an unknown customer. The vibrant colors of the bikes caught his eye again, just as they had on countless visits before. Yet today was different. Today held promise. Tom took a deep breath and stepped further into the showroom, feeling the energy of the space envelop him like a warm embrace. He began moving among the rows of motorcycles, taking care not to linger too long at any one bike so as not to attract undue attention from sales staff who might recognize him. It was then that Tom heard voices behind him, the two customers whose conversation had already begun weaving its way into his thoughts. Their candid remarks about their experiences at Apex added another layer of urgency to his mission. As they discussed their preferences and concerns regarding their bike choices, Tom couldn't help but feel more determined than ever to uncover the truth about customer interactions at his own dealership. This undercover venture became more than just an experiment. It evolved into an opportunity for profound introspection. Tom understood that by immersing himself in this experience, he could not only gain essential insights but also rekindle his passion for motorcycles, the very heart and soul of what inspired him all those years ago. With each passing moment spent in disguise, Tom felt invigorated by the prospect of change, both personally and professionally. Clarity blossomed within him. This mission would not simply reveal areas needing improvement. It would also reignite the flame that first compelled him to create Apex Motorcycles, a place where riders could connect with their dreams on two wheels. Thus began a journey fueled by curiosity and commitment, a quest destined to reshape not only Tom's relationship with his customers but also redefine what Apex Motorcycles truly stood for in their community. As Tom navigated the showroom floor of Apex Motorcycles, the sense of nostalgia mingled with a newfound curiosity. He was no longer just the owner, He was a customer seeking a connection with a machine that had been a source of joy and adventure throughout his life. The vibrant colors and polished finishes of the motorcycles surrounded him, each bike telling its own story of craftsmanship and performance. He felt the familiar thrill of possibility wash over him. With an air of casual interest, Tom moved from one motorcycle to another, pausing to admire their sleek lines and innovative features. Each model sparked memories of rides taken, long stretches of open road, the wind whipping past him as he leaned into curves with exhilarating freedom. But today, he was not just reminiscing. He was on a mission to understand how customers experienced the process of buying a motorcycle at his dealership. He approached one particular touring bike, its chrome accents glistening under the showroom lights. This model had always intrigued him for its blend of comfort and capability, designed for those who yearn to embark on long journeys without sacrificing performance. He gently ran his hand along the seat, feeling the plush material that promised comfort during extended rides. It was precisely what he sought in a motorcycle, a machine that would accompany him on adventures while providing an enjoyable experience. As he continued his exploration, Tom couldn't help but notice how different it felt to be on this side of the sales process. In his role as owner, he had often witnessed customers examining bikes with excitement mixed with uncertainty. Today, he shared that sentiment. Questions bubbled up in his mind. Was this model truly the right fit for him? What were its limitations? How would it perform against others in its class? In observing his own reactions, he recognized the importance of clear communication and guidance from sales staff, factors that could significantly influence a customer's decision. Just then, a salesperson approached him, a young woman named Lisa with an enthusiastic smile and an approachable demeanor. As she greeted him, Tom was struck by her genuine warmth. She didn't seem to recognize him as the owner. Instead, she treated him like any other prospective buyer. "Hi there. Looking for something specific today?" she asked cheerfully. Tom seized the opportunity to engage fully in his undercover shopping experience. "I'm actually interested in touring bikes," he replied casually, adopting an eager tone. "I've heard great things about this model." Lisa's eyes lit up at the mention of the touring bike. "Oh, you've picked a fantastic choice. This bike is known for its smooth ride and excellent fuel efficiency," she began to explain, her passion evident in her voice. "It's perfect for long trips or weekend getaways." As Lisa elaborated on the bike's features, its advanced navigation system, comfortable seat design, and durable storage options, Tom found himself genuinely impressed. Not only was she knowledgeable about the product, but her enthusiasm was contagious. She answered all his questions with confidence while explaining technical specifications in an accessible manner. Throughout their conversation, Tom paid close attention to how Lisa interacted with him. She maintained eye contact and actively listened to his concerns, qualities that endeared her to him as a customer. It was precisely this kind of engagement that could make or break a buying experience. However, amid this positive interaction, Tom also noticed moments where Lisa could have delved deeper into understanding his needs as a buyer. While she provided valuable information about the touring bike's features, there were times when she missed opportunities to ask probing questions about what kind of riding he planned to do or what specific features mattered most to him personally. Tom reflected on these observations as he continued to chat with Lisa. Her friendliness and knowledge made for a pleasant experience, but would it be enough to guide someone through such an important purchase? For customers who might not know exactly what they wanted or needed, this gap could lead to indecision or dissatisfaction later on. After discussing the touring bike in detail, Lisa offered Tom a chance to take it for a test ride, a moment that sent excitement coursing through him. The opportunity to feel the bike's power beneath him and experience its handling firsthand was precisely what he had hoped for during this undercover visit. As they walked toward the exit where test rides were conducted, Tom felt a surge of adrenaline mixed with anticipation. He imagined himself back on familiar roads, the thrill of acceleration and freedom awaiting him just beyond those doors. While awaiting paperwork for the test ride, Tom took another moment to observe other customers milling around the showroom. Some browsed intently while others chatted animatedly with staff members. He couldn't help but appreciate how different each buyer's experience might be. Some were confident in their choices while others appeared hesitant or overwhelmed by options. When it was finally time for his ride, Tom hopped onto the touring bike with eagerness bubbling within him. As he revved the engine and felt its power respond beneath him, he experienced an exhilarating rush reminiscent of days gone by. This was where his heart belonged. The moment brought clarity. It wasn't just about selling motorcycles. It was about creating experiences that resonated deeply with buyers' aspirations and dreams. With each twist of the throttle during his test ride, Tom felt more committed than ever to ensuring that every customer who walked through Apex Motorcycles' doors could leave with not just a bike, but also stories waiting to unfold on their journeys ahead. In those brief moments behind the handlebars, Tom realized that this undercover mission wasn't merely an experiment. It was an opportunity for transformation, for both himself and his dealership, as they forged new paths together on two wheels. As Tom finished his exhilarating test ride on the touring bike, a sense of accomplishment surged through him. He parked the motorcycle back in its designated spot, heart still racing from the thrill of the ride. The experience had been everything he hoped it would be, a reminder of why he loved motorcycles and the joy they brought to people's lives. But as he returned to the showroom, another layer of his undercover mission awaited him, the interactions and experiences of other customers. While Lisa was busy tending to some paperwork for his test ride, Tom found himself standing near a display of accessories and gear. The vibrant helmets and sleek riding jackets caught his eye, but it was the voices behind him that truly piqued his interest. Two customers were engaged in a conversation that felt both lively and candid. Curiosity drew Tom closer as he subtly shifted to overhear their discussion. They were a couple, Greg and Sarah, who appeared to be in their late 30s. Their excitement was palpable as they spoke about their search for a new bike, each sharing opinions with enthusiasm and a hint of playful banter. "I really think we should go for that cruiser model," Greg said, gesturing toward a nearby bike with classic lines and a polished finish. "It has all the comfort we need for those long rides, especially since we've been talking about taking that trip up the coast." "True," Sarah replied with a smile, "but I'm not sure it's sporty enough. I want something that'll give us a little thrill. Remember that ride we took last summer? I want more of that." Her eyes sparkled with excitement as she recalled their adventures on the road. Tom couldn't help but chuckle to himself at their dynamic. It was refreshing to witness such genuine enthusiasm, yet he also recognized the subtle tension that often accompanies major purchases, especially when both parties have different priorities or desires. As Greg and Sarah continued discussing various models, Tom noticed how they bounced ideas off one another. Their conversation painted a vivid picture of what many couples experience during the buying process, excitement mixed with uncertainty as they navigated preferences and compromises. "I think it's important that we find something that fits both our styles," Greg said thoughtfully. "You want speed, but we also need something reliable for those longer trips. Maybe we should ask someone here about the differences between these models." Sarah nodded in agreement, her brows furrowing slightly as she considered their options. "Yeah, let's do that. But what if they push us into something we don't really want?" she added skeptically, her voice tinged with hesitation. Tom felt a pang of recognition at her concern. He had seen this scenario play out countless times in his dealership, customers wary of sales tactics or feeling pressured into making decisions before they were ready. It struck him how important it was for sales staff to create an environment where customers felt comfortable expressing their desires without fear of being rushed or misled. Just then, Lisa returned from the back office, paperwork in hand, ready to assist them. Sensing an opportunity to gain further insight into customer interactions and perhaps gleaning some feedback for himself, Tom decided to remain close enough to listen while maintaining his cover as a casual shopper. "What can I help you with today?" Lisa asked warmly as she approached Greg and Sarah. The couple exchanged glances before Greg spoke up. "We're looking for a new bike, but have different ideas about what we want," he admitted, gesturing between himself and Sarah. "I'm leaning towards comfort for long distances, while she wants something sportier." Lisa smiled understandingly, nodding as if she had encountered this scenario many times before. "That's completely normal. Let's take a look at our options together," she suggested enthusiastically. "We have several models that cater to both needs." Tom watched intently as Lisa guided them through various bikes in the showroom. She asked questions aimed at uncovering their riding habits, how often they rode together, what types of trips they enjoyed most, and whether they preferred cruising or sportier rides. As she explained features unique to each model, Tom felt a sense of pride swell within him. Lisa was doing an excellent job at connecting with these customers and tailoring her approach based on their preferences. She provided clear explanations while ensuring both Greg and Sarah felt included in the conversation. However, there were moments when Tom noticed Lisa could have probed deeper into their motivations or concerns. When Greg expressed hesitation about certain features on one model, concerns about handling or weight, Lisa quickly reassured him without fully exploring those feelings. This was an opportunity lost. Understanding those hesitations could lead to addressing deeper needs or desires. After discussing several options and providing ample information about financing plans available at Apex Motorcycles, Lisa encouraged them to take some bikes for test rides, a suggestion met with excited approval from both Greg and Sarah. Feeling invigorated by watching this exchange unfold, Tom realized how critical it was for sales staff to foster an open dialogue with customers. The decision-making process around buying a motorcycle couldn't just revolve around specs, it needed to encompass emotions and aspirations too. As Greg and Sarah prepared for their test rides, Tom decided he could step away from eavesdropping now. It was time to reflect on everything he had observed so far during his undercover experience at Apex Motorcycles. The encounters he witnessed reinforced his belief that a successful dealership isn't solely defined by sales figures, but rather by the connections forged between staff and customers. With newfound clarity on how customer interactions could be improved and how crucial empathy is within any sales process, Tom walked away from the scene feeling more motivated than ever to implement positive changes at his dealership upon returning to his role as owner. This mission wasn't merely about scouting areas needing improvement. It was about understanding human connections, the heart of any thriving business, and ensuring every customer who walked through those doors left not just satisfied but genuinely excited for their own adventures on two wheels ahead. As Tom stood quietly, observing Greg and Sarah interact with Lisa, he became acutely aware of the dynamics that often play out in a motorcycle dealership. Their conversation flowed seamlessly, peppered with excitement, hesitations, and dreams about future rides. But beneath the surface chatter lay deeper revelations that would prove invaluable for Tom's mission to enhance customer experiences at Apex Motorcycles. One of the first insights that struck Tom was the importance of emotional connections in the buying process. As Greg and Sarah discussed their preferences, it became clear that their choices were not purely based on specifications or performance metrics. Rather, they were tied to shared memories and aspirations. When Sarah mentioned wanting something sportier, her eyes lit up with excitement as she recalled their past adventures on winding roads, a reminder that motorcycles symbolize freedom and exploration. Tom recognized that many customers likely shared similar motivations. For them, buying a motorcycle wasn't just a transaction. It was a gateway to experiences filled with camaraderie, adventure, and personal growth. This realization prompted Tom to think critically about how he could better communicate these emotional aspects in marketing and sales processes at Apex. Listening further, he noted moments when Greg expressed vulnerability about making a decision, a feeling many buyers likely grappled with but seldom voiced aloud. "I just want to make sure we don't end up with something we'll regret later," he admitted, his voice tinged with hesitation. This comment resonated deeply with Tom. It reflected a common fear among customers who worry they might make the wrong choice. In witnessing this moment of honesty, Tom understood the importance of creating an atmosphere where customers felt safe discussing their concerns without judgment. He envisioned how fostering such an environment could lead to more meaningful interactions between staff and buyers. Salespeople should be encouraged to actively listen to these fears and address them empathetically rather than glossing over them in pursuit of a sale. As they continued their conversation, Tom also heard Sarah express skepticism about certain features on a model they were considering. "I've heard some reviews that say this bike is great for long distances but not so much for handling," she remarked thoughtfully. "What if we find ourselves uncomfortable during those weekend rides?" This moment highlighted another crucial revelation. Customers often rely on external information, reviews, forums, and word of mouth to aid their decision-making process. Tom realized that while it was essential for sales staff to provide accurate information, there was also an opportunity to educate customers about how to discern genuine reviews from biased ones. He envisioned workshops or informational sessions at the dealership aimed at empowering customers with knowledge about what to look for when researching bikes. Tom's thoughts raced as he absorbed the layers of complexity within Greg and Sarah's conversation. They weren't just discussing bikes. They were navigating a blend of practicality and emotion, a dance between their individual desires and shared goals. The way they communicated showed the depth of their partnership and how it impacted their purchasing decisions. Lisa skillfully navigated these nuances as she responded to their inquiries, showcasing her expertise while remaining mindful of their sentiments. She didn't simply recite facts about horsepower or torque. Instead, she connected features back to their specific needs, like how a comfortable seat design would enhance long rides together or why certain handlebars might improve maneuverability for spirited riding. In those moments, Tom recognized the power of storytelling in sales. It wasn't enough for staff to regurgitate specifications. They needed to weave narratives that illustrated how each bike could fit into the lives of customers, how it could serve as a trusty companion on road trips or provide thrills on weekend getaways. As Greg and Sarah wrapped up their discussion with Lisa and prepared for their test rides, Tom felt a swell of gratitude for having witnessed this interaction unfold. It reinforced his belief that genuine connections were at the heart of successful sales experiences, and that these connections could transform an ordinary purchase into something memorable. With every revelation gained from hearing the couple's conversation, Tom began formulating ideas on how he could implement changes back at Apex Motorcycles. He envisioned training sessions for his staff focused on active listening skills and emotional intelligence, tools designed to help them connect more deeply with customers during interactions. But beyond those practical steps, he wanted to instill a culture where empathy reigned supreme, a culture where every employee understood that behind each inquiry lay hopes and dreams waiting to be fulfilled through the right motorcycle purchase. As Tom stood there reflecting on these insights, he felt invigorated by the potential for positive change within his dealership. The Undercover experience was shaping up to be more than just an exploration of customer service. It was becoming a journey toward understanding human connection in all its forms. Armed with newfound knowledge gained from Greg and Sarah's candid conversation, Tom knew it was time to seize this opportunity. To redefine what Apex Motorcycles represented in the lives of its customers while fostering an environment where dreams could take flight on two wheels. With determination etched across his face, he stepped away from the conversations unfolding around him, ready to embrace his role not only as an owner but also as a champion for customer experiences that would resonate long after they left the showroom floor. As Tom stepped away from the bustling showroom floor, he found a quiet corner where he could gather his thoughts. The vibrant energy of Apex Motorcycles surrounded him, but it was the recent interactions he had witnessed that swirled in his mind like a whirlwind. He leaned against a motorcycle, taking a moment to reflect on the profound insights gleaned from his Undercover experience. The conversations between Greg and Sarah, as well as his own engagement with Lisa, had opened his eyes to the intricate tapestry of customer feedback, how it shaped perceptions, influenced decisions, and ultimately forged connections between buyers and the dealership. For too long, he had operated under the assumption that numbers and metrics alone define success. Yet, standing there in that moment, he recognized the pivotal role that authentic feedback played in shaping not only sales but also customer loyalty. Tom recalled Greg's concerns about making the right choice. That apprehension resonated deeply with him. It was a reminder that customers often wrestle with insecurities when faced with significant purchases, especially something as personal as a motorcycle. He thought back to how Greg had expressed a desire for reassurance amidst uncertainty. This was an opportunity for Apex to not only provide information but also to foster trust by actively listening and addressing those doubts head-on. He realized that customer feedback wasn't just a tool for improvement. It was an invaluable resource that could guide Apex Motorcycles toward becoming a more empathetic and responsive dealership. Tom envisioned a system where customers felt encouraged to share their thoughts openly, whether they were positive experiences or constructive criticisms. What if they could create avenues for feedback beyond just formal surveys? Perhaps informal discussions or focus groups could be organized to gather insights directly from riders about their experiences. As Tom continued to reflect, he thought about the importance of empowering staff to embrace feedback as an integral part of their daily interactions. Lisa's ability to engage Greg and Sarah in meaningful dialogue demonstrated that when salespeople genuinely listened, they could uncover deeper needs and desires that might otherwise go unvoiced. The idea of creating a culture centered around customer feedback struck Tom as essential. He envisioned training sessions focused on communication skills, teaching staff not just how to sell but how to engage in conversations that mattered. They would need to learn how to ask open-ended questions and respond empathetically, creating an atmosphere where customers felt safe expressing their thoughts without fear of judgment. Moreover, Tom recognized the potential for using testimonials and stories from satisfied customers as powerful marketing tools. When buyers shared their experiences, how they found joy in riding, or cherished memories made on their motorcycles, these narratives became relatable touchpoints for prospective customers. It turned the act of purchasing into something more profound than mere commerce. It transformed it into a shared community experience. As he stood there reflecting on these ideas, Tom couldn't help but feel energized by the possibilities ahead. He envisioned hosting events where customers could come together, sharing rides, stories, and laughter while building relationships not only with each other but also with Apex Motorcycles itself. By cultivating this sense of community within the dealership, he believed they could create lasting bonds that transcended typical buyer-seller interactions. Then there was the matter of addressing concerns raised by customers like Sarah regarding reviews and opinions shared online. It became clear to Tom that educating both staff and customers about discerning valuable information from noise in the digital landscape was vital. What if Apex Motorcycles took an active role in guiding customers through this process? Perhaps they could offer workshops or informational sessions focused on navigating online reviews effectively while providing insights into how those reviews aligned with real-world experiences. In pondering these revelations, Tom felt a renewed sense of purpose wash over him. His undercover mission had revealed not only gaps in customer engagement, but also opportunities for improvement that could redefine Apex Motorcycles' identity within their community. He understood now that being an owner meant more than overseeing operations or managing finances. It involved being attuned to the voices of customers who walked through those doors seeking connection, adventure, and joy. Every interaction held potential, a chance to learn from one another while fostering relationships that would extend beyond transactions. As Tom stepped away from his moment of reflection, he felt invigorated by this newfound clarity. He would return to his role not only as an owner but as an advocate for change, a champion for creating exceptional experiences grounded in empathy and understanding. With each step back toward the showroom floor, he envisioned implementing strategies to elevate customer feedback into a cornerstone of Apex Motorcycles operations, a commitment that would resonate deeply with riders old and new alike. The journey ahead promised challenges but also immense rewards. He was ready to embrace them all. His undercover adventure had unfolded into something far greater than anticipated, a transformative exploration leading toward a future where every rider felt seen, heard, and valued within the embrace of Apex Motorcycles. With determination fueling him forward, Tom knew this was just the beginning of a remarkable journey ahead, a journey built upon listening closely and responding thoughtfully to those who cherished life on two wheels as much as he did. As Tom made his way back to the main showroom, he felt a newfound sense of purpose coursing through him. The energy of the place felt different now. It was vibrant, alive with potential not just for sales but for genuine connections. He had absorbed valuable insights from his undercover experience, and as he prepared to re-enter the fray of business ownership, a moment of realization washed over him. Standing among the rows of motorcycles, Tom paused for a moment to gather his thoughts. He glanced around at the bustling showroom, customers chatting excitedly, sales staff engaging with buyers, and the unmistakable hum of engines revving in the background. This was more than just a dealership. It was a community hub where stories intersected and dreams were born. Yet, until now, he had failed to fully appreciate how crucial that community aspect was to his business. The conversations he had overheard, particularly those of Greg and Sarah, had illuminated something profound for him. Here were two individuals not merely shopping for a motorcycle but embarking on a journey together. Their discussions reflected hopes of shared adventures, memories yet to be created, and experiences that would bring them closer as partners. Tom realized that every customer who walked through those doors was seeking not just a product, but a connection, something that resonated deeply within their lives. Suddenly, it hit him. Customers were not just numbers or statistics. They were people with stories waiting to unfold. Each interaction held the potential to create lasting relationships built on trust and understanding. It was about so much more than making sales. It was about crafting experiences that would leave an indelible mark on their lives. Tom's thoughts drifted back to his own journey with motorcycles, the thrill of his first ride, the friendships forged on long trips, and the exhilaration that came from exploration. Those moments had shaped him into the passionate owner he was today, yet he had become so focused on operational efficiency that he had lost sight of this emotional connection. The realization struck him like lightning. If he wanted Apex Motorcycles to thrive, he needed to prioritize these connections above all else. In that moment of clarity, Tom envisioned what Apex could become, a place where every customer felt valued and understood. He imagined how impactful it would be if staff engaged more deeply with customers, taking time to learn about their passions and interests rather than simply pushing for sales. What if they fostered an environment where buyers could share their dreams openly? Perhaps even creating forums or events where riders could gather, swap stories, and inspire one another. As he stood there contemplating these possibilities, Tom felt an overwhelming sense of responsibility wash over him. He understood that as the owner, he held the power to influence not only his business model but also the culture within it. It was imperative for him to lead by example, encouraging staff to embrace empathy in every interaction while fostering a mindset centered around building relationships rather than transactions. With this realization came a renewed commitment. He would initiate training programs focused on active listening skills and emotional intelligence. He envisioned workshops where staff learned how to ask open-ended questions and respond thoughtfully to customer concerns, skills essential for nurturing relationships in an industry driven by passion. Moreover, Tom saw the importance of implementing systems that allowed customers to provide feedback easily, whether through casual conversations or more structured methods like surveys or focus groups. He wanted their voices to be heard loud and clear because their insights were invaluable in shaping Apex's future direction. The thought invigorated him further. What if Apex Motorcycles became known not just for its impressive inventory, but also for its unwavering commitment to customer experiences? What if they could cultivate a reputation as a dealership where riders felt they belonged, a safe haven where they could connect with others who shared their love for motorcycles? With each passing moment, Tom felt more inspired by this vision, a dealership rooted in community and connection rather than mere commerce. He pictured events filled with laughter and camaraderie, group rides through scenic routes followed by barbecues at the dealership where stories were shared over good food and laughter echoed under the open sky. As these ideas swirled in his mind like sparks igniting a fire within him, Tom realized he was standing at a crossroads. A pivotal moment that could define not only his approach as an owner, but also reshape Apex Motorcycles' identity within the community. Resolute in his newfound clarity, Tom stepped back into the bustling showroom determined to take action. He felt charged with purpose, a mission not simply limited to selling motorcycles but expanding horizons through meaningful interactions. This undercover experience had transformed into something far greater than a shopping excursion. It had become a catalyst for change within himself and his dealership. As Tom prepared to engage with customers once again, he carried with him an unwavering conviction. Every bike sold would be accompanied by stories waiting to unfold, a promise of adventure embedded in each transaction. With excitement bubbling inside him like fuel ready for ignition, Tom knew he was embarking on a journey toward creating lasting connections at Apex Motorcycles. One that would resonate deeply within every rider who walked through those doors seeking not just machines but also memories waiting to be made. After absorbing the insights from his undercover experience, Tom felt a surge of excitement mixed with a sense of urgency. He had come to understand the intricate relationships between customer emotions, aspirations, and the purchasing process. Now, standing in his own showroom, he was faced with a decision that would not only affect him personally, but also serve as a testament to the lessons he had learned. Having just completed an exhilarating test ride on the touring bike he had admired, Tom felt a deep connection to it. The ride had reignited his passion for motorcycles, filling him with memories of freedom and adventure. But this wasn't just about choosing a bike for himself. It was an opportunity to demonstrate his commitment to putting customers first in every aspect of the business. As he approached the desk where Lisa was wrapping up paperwork with Greg and Sarah, Tom couldn't help but feel a swell of pride in how she had handled their interactions. Her attentiveness and ability to engage with them had showcased exactly what he envisioned for Apex Motorcycles, a place where customers felt listened to and valued. It was time to make a purchase that would reflect those ideals. "Hey, Lisa," Tom said casually as he made his way over to her. "I'm ready to talk about that touring bike." He kept his tone light, hoping to maintain the guise of an average customer while still addressing the significant decision at hand. Lisa's face lit up with recognition and enthusiasm. "Great choice. The touring bike is perfect for long rides and comfort. Would you like to discuss financing options or any other details?" Tom nodded, appreciating her energy. "Absolutely. But first, I'd love to hear more about the features you think would really enhance my riding experience." He was keenly aware that this wasn't just about making a sale. It was about embodying everything he wanted Apex Motorcycles to represent: knowledgeable staff who could guide customers thoughtfully through their decisions. As Lisa began detailing the bike's features, its advanced suspension system designed for smooth rides over rough terrain and its spacious storage for long trips, Tom listened intently, reflecting on how every aspect resonated with what he aspired for in his own riding adventures. He imagined weekend getaways filled with laughter and camaraderie, journeys where he could forge connections not just with new friends, but also with the open road itself. But as Lisa spoke, Tom's thoughts turned back to Greg and Sarah. Their discussions about balancing personal desires with shared experiences lingered in his mind. He wondered how he could incorporate their journey into his own decision-making process. After all, he wasn't just buying a motorcycle. He was embracing a lifestyle that would intertwine with others who shared this passion. "I appreciate all this information," Tom said thoughtfully, interrupting Lisa's enthusiastic presentation. "Can we pause for a moment?" I want to consider something important. Lisa tilted her head slightly, encouraging him to continue. Of course. What's on your mind? I've been reflecting on what I've learned today, not just about this bike, but about the entire buying experience, Tom began. I realize how crucial it is for customers to feel confident in their choices and supported throughout the process. He took a deep breath before continuing. This isn't merely about purchasing a motorcycle. It's about becoming part of something larger, a community where our stories intertwine. He illustrated his perspective by referencing Greg and Sarah's earlier conversation, emphasizing how couples often navigated their choices together while ensuring both parties felt heard and respected. I want my purchase to reflect that same spirit, Tom explained earnestly. Lisa nodded appreciatively, her demeanor shifting from salesperson to collaborator as they engaged in this deeper discussion. I completely understand, she replied thoughtfully. We can certainly make sure your experience mirrors that intention. Drawing from his earlier realizations regarding empathy and connection, Tom asked Lisa if they could explore various models together. Perhaps even considering those that might cater not only to personal preference but also facilitate shared experiences with others. Let's consider options that would lend themselves well to group rides or longer journeys together, he suggested enthusiastically. After all, it's not just me riding. It's about creating memories with friends and family. Lisa's eyes sparkled at his passion. That sounds fantastic. We have several models that could offer both comfort and performance, perfect for those group outings you're thinking about. As they began discussing other potential bikes, some more versatile than the touring model, Tom felt invigorated by the possibilities unfolding before him. Each motorcycle represented not just an option for purchase but also an avenue for enriching connections within the community he sought to build. After thorough consideration and discussion of features like seating capacity for passengers or added storage solutions for group trips, Tom found himself gravitating toward another model. A versatile cruiser known for its comfort on long distances while maintaining sporty capabilities. This one feels right, he said confidently after taking another look at it during their discussion. It embodies everything I want out of my riding experience. Comfort for long trips while being fun enough for those spirited rides. Lisa beamed as she acknowledged his decision. That's an excellent choice. It'll suit your needs while allowing you to share great times with fellow riders. With clarity surrounding his choice now firmly established, Tom felt a wave of satisfaction wash over him. This wasn't simply a purchase. It was an embodiment of everything he envisioned for Apex motorcycles moving forward. The decision felt like more than just acquiring another motorcycle. It represented an affirmation of community spirit, a commitment to embracing shared experiences that transcended individual rides. As they moved toward finalizing paperwork together, Tom couldn't shake off the feeling of excitement bubbling within him, a promise of adventures yet to come filled with friendship, laughter, and connection forged through life on two wheels. In that moment of realization and decisive action, Tom knew this ride was just beginning. The journey toward building a vibrant community around Apex motorcycles had truly begun. Starting with a choice rooted in understanding not only himself, but also those who would join him along the road ahead. As Tom completed the final steps in the purchasing process, a sense of accomplishment washed over him. He had successfully navigated the experience of being an undercover customer at his own dealership, and now he was ready to embrace the lessons learned during this transformative journey. The excitement of buying a new motorcycle was palpable, but it was the revelations about customer engagement that truly resonated with him. With the paperwork finalized and the keys to his new bike in hand, Tom felt a wave of satisfaction. He had taken home not just a machine, but an embodiment of everything he wanted Apex motorcycles to represent: community, connection, and shared experiences. As he stood in the showroom, surrounded by motorcycles and the friendly chatter of customers and staff alike, he reflected on how this undercover experience had changed his perspective as an owner. Tom recalled his initial motivations for going undercover. He wanted to understand what customers experienced when they walked through those doors, and he had gained insights far beyond what he had anticipated. The candid conversations he overheard between Greg and Sarah had illuminated the significance of emotional connections in the buying process. Their hopes and dreams intertwined with their decisions, reminding him that every bike sold carried with it a story waiting to unfold. He took a moment to connect with Lisa before leaving. "I can't thank you enough for how you handled my questions today," he said gratefully. "You truly made me feel like a valued customer." Lisa's face lit up with appreciation. "I'm glad you felt that way. It's what we strive for here at Apex." She paused, her expression shifting to one of curiosity. "By the way, did you enjoy your undercover adventure?" Tom chuckled softly, nodding. "Absolutely. It was enlightening on multiple levels. I've come away with a renewed commitment to making Apex more than just a dealership. I want it to be a community where every rider feels welcomed. As they chatted, Tom felt inspired to share his vision for the future of Apex motorcycles. He spoke about implementing training sessions focused on empathy and active listening for staff members, tools essential for creating authentic connections with customers. Lisa listened intently, her enthusiasm growing as she embraced his ideas. "I love that," she exclaimed. "We could even host events where customers can share their riding experiences or stories about their bikes. It would help foster that sense of community you're talking about." Tom's eyes sparkled at her suggestion. "Exactly. Imagine if we could create opportunities for riders to come together, group rides, BBQs, maybe even workshops on maintenance or customizing their bikes. It would be amazing." They exchanged ideas enthusiastically, brainstorming ways to integrate community-building initiatives into Apex's operations. Each concept sparked excitement within Tom, reaffirming his belief that fostering relationships would elevate the dealership experience beyond mere transactions. As he prepared to leave, Tom took one last look around the showroom. The bright colors of motorcycles gleaming under the lights seemed to echo with potential. He realized that every bike held a promise not only for adventure but also for connection among riders who shared a love for two-wheeled journeys. Stepping outside into the fresh air, Tom mounted his new touring bike and revved the engine, a familiar roar that sent adrenaline coursing through him once again. This moment felt monumental. It symbolized not just a personal milestone but also an opportunity to instigate change within Apex motorcycles. He knew there would be challenges ahead. Transforming a dealership's culture didn't happen overnight. But armed with insights from his undercover experience and the support of enthusiastic staff like Lisa, Tom felt ready to take on anything that came their way. As he rode off into the open road, wind whipping past him, Tom envisioned the future, a vibrant community filled with laughter, camaraderie, and stories waiting to be told. He imagined riders gathering not just to purchase bikes but also to connect over shared passions and experiences. The journey toward building this community was just beginning. Tom realized that his role as an owner extended far beyond selling motorcycles. It encompassed nurturing relationships and creating lasting memories, both for himself and for every customer who entered Apex Motorcycles' doors. With each mile traveled on his new bike, Tom felt invigorated by this mission, to transform Apex into a haven where riders could find not only exceptional machines but also companionship, support, and understanding on their journeys together. In that moment of clarity and purpose, he understood. This was more than just an undercover adventure. It marked the start of something extraordinary. An opportunity to redefine what it meant to be part of the motorcycle community through genuine connections forged at Apex Motorcycles. As he rode off down the winding road ahead, filled with possibilities and adventures yet to come, Tom embraced the exhilarating feeling of knowing he had taken an important step toward making those dreams a reality. Not only for himself, but for countless riders who shared in this passion for freedom on two wheels. As Tom rode down the winding road on his new touring bike, he felt invigorated by the freedom and exhilaration that came with each twist of the throttle. The wind whipped through his hair, and the engine's roar resonated in harmony with his heartbeat. Yet, even as he savored this moment of liberation, thoughts of the future danced in his mind, visions of how he would transform Apex Motorcycles into a community hub for riders. Upon returning to the dealership, Tom was determined to implement the changes he had envisioned during his undercover experience. He understood that simply selling motorcycles was not enough. Apex needed to foster connections among riders and create an environment where they felt valued and understood. The first step he planned to take was to initiate training sessions for all staff members. He wanted to focus on enhancing their communication skills, specifically active listening and empathy. These sessions would encourage employees to engage with customers on a deeper level, allowing them to uncover individual needs and preferences more effectively. Tom believed that when staff members felt empowered to forge genuine connections, customers would leave feeling not just satisfied but truly understood. Tom pictured inviting experts in customer relations and emotional intelligence to lead these workshops. The goal would be to instill in every team member the importance of making each interaction meaningful. He envisioned role-playing exercises where staff could practice responding empathetically to customer concerns or inquiries, building confidence in their ability to connect with buyers. In addition to training initiatives, Tom knew it was vital to create channels for ongoing customer feedback. He wanted to establish a user-friendly system for customers to share their experiences, whether through informal conversations, suggestion boxes, or online surveys. By actively seeking input from riders, Apex could adapt its services and offerings based on their insights. He even considered launching a monthly forum where customers could come together for open discussions about their experiences at the dealership. These gatherings could provide invaluable insights into what worked well and what needed improvement while also nurturing a sense of community among riders. As Tom continued to brainstorm future improvements for Apex motorcycles, he was particularly excited about organizing events that would not only showcase the bikes but also celebrate the culture of motorcycling. He envisioned hosting group rides that would allow customers to experience the thrill of riding together while forging bonds with fellow enthusiasts. These rides could culminate in social gatherings at the dealership, fostering camaraderie over food and shared stories. Furthermore, Tom contemplated introducing workshops centered around motorcycle maintenance and customization, sessions where riders could learn practical skills while connecting with others who shared their passion. He imagined scenarios where experienced mechanics offered hands-on tutorials, empowering customers with knowledge they could use on their own bikes. Community outreach also featured prominently in Tom's vision for Apex's future. He believed that forming partnerships with local riding clubs and organizations could enhance both visibility and engagement within the motorcycle community. Collaborating on charity events or safety awareness campaigns would not only strengthen bonds but also position Apex as a responsible member of the community, one committed to promoting safe riding practices and supporting local causes. Tom's excitement grew as he envisioned how these initiatives could transform Apex motorcycles into more than just a dealership. It would become a vibrant hub for riders seeking connection, support, and inspiration. Each change would contribute to creating an environment where customers felt encouraged to engage with one another while building lasting relationships. As he returned from his ride that day, Tom couldn't help but smile at the thought of what lay ahead. The challenges might be daunting. However, he felt equipped with newfound clarity and determination after his undercover experience. The realization that every motorcycle sold was not merely a transaction but an opportunity for connection fueled his commitment further. He wanted every customer who walked through those doors to leave knowing they were part of something bigger, a community built on shared passions and unforgettable adventures. With enthusiasm bubbling within him like fuel ready for ignition, Tom began laying out a roadmap for these future improvements. A plan that would guide Apex motorcycles toward becoming a place where riders didn't just buy machines but embraced lifestyles enriched by camaraderie and support. Over time, he believed this transformation would elevate Apex's reputation within the riding community, a place known not only for its premier selection of motorcycles but also as a haven where every rider felt valued, respected, and connected. As Tom looked ahead toward this promising future filled with possibilities, he knew one thing for certain. It was time for Apex Motorcycles to embrace its role as a beacon for riders everywhere, a place where dreams took flight on two wheels, fueled by friendship and adventure waiting just around the corner. And it all began with a commitment to listening closely, engaging wholeheartedly, and nurturing connections that transcended transactions, an unwavering pledge that would guide him forward on this exhilarating journey ahead.